Association with Masdar, Abu Dhabi's future energy company.
Along the equator, where the Andes Mountains meet the Amazon rainforest, there is a river leading to a place like no other. Yasuní.
So Yasuní is right there. This river is the official boundary of the park.
Dr. Kelly Swing has made this journey into the jungle of eastern Ecuador hundreds of times over the last 30 years.
When I'm here, I can't go more than about 3 minutes without seeing something I have never seen before.
Many scientists believe this 1 million hectare stretch of rainforest is the most biodiverse place on Earth. Dr. Swing and his team observe and catalogue the surrounding plant, animal and insect life. It doesn't take long for their trained eyes to spot something. The Yasuní is home to more species of frogs and toads than all of the US and Canada combined, and as small and well adapted as they can be.
One of the really camouflaged species of toads.
It's easy to see why new species are discovered here all the time.
Most people are confused by this behavior. Obviously doesn't feel extremely threatened.
But Yasuní is home to nearly 24 threatened or near-threatened species. Difficult to prove that many of the animals are still here, which begs the question, how do you study what you can't see? In 2005, the team found the answer. Motion and heat-censored cameras mounted around the park.
Over the last 5 years, we've captured about 28,000 images of fauna. Lots of tapirs, lots of white-lipped peccaries, lots of collared peccaries. And then after all those herbivore, frugivore, omnivore groups, then we have rarer photographs of things like all the cats. And of course there are 5 species of cats here, jaguar being the largest species. Pumas are here but rarely show up in the photographs. And then ocelots, I think now we're up to about 25 individual ocelots that we've identified in the photographs over the years.
The Amazon has lost 20% of its forested land in the past 40 years. But perhaps the biggest threat to this biosphere's survival comes from the reserves found underneath it. The Quechua tribe welcoming a high-profile visitor. Ecuador's Vice President, Lenin Moreno, grew up in this region. He has come to discuss the Yasuní and what's at stake. Villagers have heard about the nearly 1 billion barrels of heavy crude oil under the soil of the northwest section of Yasuní. But in this impoverished area, where oil companies have operated for years, the benefits of oil extraction have yet to flow their way.
Las petroleras vienen, dan trabajo.
The oil companies come and employ people for 2 years and then they leave. The people they employ are only manual helpers, so the oil companies build, exploit, pollute and leave behind waste for the community.
3 years ago, Ecuador's government made a bold offer to the world. They would agree to leave the oil in the ground, but only if developed countries compensated them half of the nearly $10 billion Ecuador would have earned from extracting it.
Es un reconocer que el compromiso es un compromiso compartido.
It is a commitment, a shared commitment in which both developed and developing countries are making an agreement that will benefit future conservation. We are all affected by this. We all must protect this magnificent nature around us.
The money will go towards alternative energy development in Ecuador, as well as health and education services in indigenous communities. Yvonne Baki leads the international negotiations team for Ecuador.
It's something that will change history. It's something that will be an example for other countries that have the same conditions that we have. There are a few countries, there are around 9 or 10 countries in the world that could use this example.
But detractors claim Ecuador is holding a priceless piece of the Amazon ecosystem to ransom.
Todo lo contrario, porque es precisamente un compromiso conjunto.
To the contrary, because it is precisely a shared commitment in which Ecuador is giving its part, an important part. The Ecuadorian people are making the biggest sacrifice here by letting go of approximately $3.5 billion, money which could be invested in the country's development and that is truly needed.
But like the last, vast stretches of rainforest that will depend on their outcome, Dr. Swing believes the time for debate and decision-making is running out.
I think most people would say, if we're going to save something, let's save the best parts at least. There's a lot of life here, both animal and plant life, and if we start losing it, if we allow more of it to be nibbled away around the edges, eventually we'll get to a point where almost nothing is left. And maybe 20 years from now, somebody will say, how could you have let that happen?
Next on Earth's frontiers, the Kachkar Mountains in northeastern Turkey are brimming with biodiversity, but it is under threat from an unlikely source.